Welcome to Health Check on GH Today. My name is Nanama Anna Bempong, and over the past few weeks we've been talking about eye diseases such as cataracts, glaucoma and retinal diseases. However, today we are talking about maintenance to keep your eye in good health. We are going to be speaking again to Dr. Seniaja. See you when we come right back. Dr. Seniaja, you're welcome to Health Check. And today we are going to focus on the maintenance of keeping good eye health. So tell us a bit about what we can do at certain ages and stages of life so that we can keep our eyes in good shape.
I'll first look at the newborn child. Okay, the newborn child, ideally, anytime somebody has a child, needs to see the doctor, the eye specialist. During this period, the doctor will look at how the eye looks generally, how healthy it is, whether the eye is seeing straight. Sometimes the eye look that like they are squinting, but it's not squinting, so the doctor can determine that. Sometimes we see things that the mother may not know, like the big eyeballs, which you may be admiring that the child has a big eyeball, but could turn out to be a glaucoma. These are rare instances, but it's very good to check those. Then when you go to the toddler, then of course we are talking of injury. It's one of the commonest problem with children. Sometimes the child doesn't even know when it happened. You just see it by chance that the child is not opening the eye or it's red, and the child cannot even tell you when it happened because they ran about. So we have to be careful of the eye injury, just like any other injury. Like the eye is very important. Toys should not be hung around so that people can trip over. And then the sharp things that I've seen children play with, pens pointed to the eye. So education starts quite early in this age, and you'll be shocked these children pick many things at that age and say, no, that they say we shouldn't play with this. And that we can have. Even this goes all the way to the primary school, when the children, you always see them when they are just throwing their hands and things. So it's very good that the eye is taken care of, and this extends to the teachers as well, whereby the teachers must pay special attention to this. I also look at beating a child. I'm not a big fan of corporal punishment, because I've seen cases where teacher made a mistake and then actually pricked the eye of a child. So those are also very important.
So just to go back to the toddler and the newborn stage,
Sure.
Parents shouldn't be worried, but they should just be careful and make sure they educate their children.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Exactly. We try as much as possible to avoid using eye drops that is not coming from the doctor.
Okay.
We've seen many cases where a child is treated just at home from something that somebody has been giving some time back and say, oh, okay, this worked for this guy, let me use it. That is not advisable. And we also have something called amblyopia, whereby when the child is squinting or an injury or something, and the brain detects that vision is poorer, the development of that vision may be prevented, and that can affect the child in future. So all that is very important. So talking about the teenage is also trauma. You know, what we mean trauma, I mean injuries. So that also is about children playing around, riding bicycles, playing football, and that kind of thing. That can also actually impact on the eye health in generally. So the other group which is very critical is the working age, the working class. Okay, that will relate to the type of work they do. If you're a carpenter, I hardly see any carpenter wearing goggles,
Protective equipment.
The welders, people who weld things in the sparks, that is more common, where you have a hot metal just landing on the eye.
Wow.
There's this misconception that a computer can damage your eye. Not really, but it can make you tired. especially if you don't have the correct distance from the computer. You can feel tired in between, and your productivity will be very impeded. Some people even get headache. And we also know that the screen from those laptops and can also disturb sleep, specifically when you are sleeping and you find out that you are not sleeping well, because the light that emitted from that will actually prevent a special hormone that makes us sleep, melatonin.
Okay.
So we know that can actually affect the quality of sleep. And for a child who is at school, that is not very good to be using the computer or the phone. Let me say, the phone when it's bedtime.
How often would you say that you would need to get the checkups? I mean, you mentioned checkups in the bracket from 40 going, then again 60 going. Can you give us a bit of a brief about it?
When you reach 40 upwards once a year,
Okay.
if there is nothing found in you, because that will change.
Okay.
The moment that will change. Then of course when you reach 60, at least twice, we advise twice, because those changes can just occur within that period. So I think this is, and also like I've said, once something else is found, this advice will change. The frequency of visit the doctor will change.
Okay. So what should people do and not do to be able to make sure that their eyes are in a very good shape? These days there's a proliferation of people using colored lenses, and they don't necessarily have any form of anything that makes you see any better in them. But is there, because obviously you're touching your eye and things like that, so
the issue is about hygiene when it comes to contact lenses. Yeah. And then these days we have a lot of the proliferation of many type of materials that they are using just to give you this color. Caution must be taken. Yeah. Placing it on the eye, removing it on the eye, you can scratch your eye and then cause damage and infection. So sterility is the key there. And I also need to understand that these days we have different ways of correcting the vision, distant vision. You could also have an opportunity of even correcting with the laser now. Yeah, instead of wearing glasses. Okay. You mustn't necessarily wear contact lenses. So we have glasses like the one I'm wearing, then we have the contact lenses, and then we have LASIK or SMILE. That's another one. The latest one is called SMILE. They are all form of shaping the eyeball so that they can see better.
Can you show us on this?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, this is here. You see, with the LASIK, you are dealing with this, the surface here.
Okay.
We see our eyes dark because of the curtain which is here, which you call the iris. Otherwise, on top is like a glass.
Okay.
Yeah. So I take this. This is the cornea, and the cornea is just on the surface like this. So the laser will shape the top.
Okay.
By shaping it, it's changing how light enter the eye to the retina.
Okay.
And you may not wear glasses. Okay, so the color of your eye is determined by this iris, which we call curtain. The other one I was doing is inside the cataract. That's when we put the lens inside. That one is aging or trauma or anything. So we change. So we can change this power inside to also fit in your glasses. So you don't need to do the LASIK. So when you come for a cataract operation, we will determine the amount of power that you just require. That when we put inside the eye, that's why we don't need to wait that it gets so mature.
Sure.
Because we can give you a glass inside the eye that will just give you the exact vision that you require or you need when you buy glasses.
Okay. Early detection is very important, especially when it comes to the eye.
Yes, we are looking at people trying to treat themselves at home. It's a very common thing. Yeah, it may work one day, but it may not work all the time.
Okay.
Why? Because the reason why it has worked, you don't know.
Okay.
So we don't actually have to recommend. I've seen many patients in my career who have practically damaged their eye because of using an eye drop.
Okay.
The worst one is these traditional eye drops. You know, people like I was in a childhood that anything that bends is the best. but some of them actually damage the eye. So we try to avoid that. Now, to add on to something very important that I think nobody should miss, healthy lifestyle. And once you take care of your health, healthy food, then of course your eye is taken care of. So I think the healthy lifestyles will also reflect in your eye. Since the eye is just a window to the body, anytime something is going bad in the eye, it's worth looking at the whole body in total. Once you have diabetes, you have BP, it's good to check the eye.
Is there any other thing that you would say, just some common hints and tips that you can give to people that would enable them to make sure that their eyes are kept and maintained in good health?
I may just give a summary. The first one I've mentioned is the protective glasses. It's very important for the working. Even when you're in the field, if you are doing gardening, people who just walk out from their room and say, let me work in the garden, just get something protective for your eye. It's very important. That's number one. Then number two, general health. Yeah, a little bit of general health. You look at our colleagues out there doing exercises, looking at their food, how much put in their plate. That is very important. And the other thing is that once we are aging, especially the way we used to eat may not necessarily be exactly. So we need to look into that.
Lastly, the other thing, sometimes something may drop in the eye. It's happened to me on numerous occasions. Sometimes you make a mistake with the makeup, or maybe you are blending something in the kitchen, or those kinds of things. And then also when you get red eyes as well, I was told that floaters is something that we must be very careful about. Those things where you start to see kind of images, not images, but you start to see things, specks.
Yeah.
In your eye.
Okay, those are about three different things you've mentioned, but let me go first to things entering your eye. We always recommend that if something like that enter, you use clean water to first try to clean the water. But if the pains get worse or remains, you need to see an eye doctor. Okay. Don't go and start using any eye drop.
What time period are we looking at?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you stay within an hour and things are not getting better, I would recommend strong, because the eye has the capability of healing itself if it is something small wound within a very short time. Okay. And sometimes even if the particle, we call it foreign body, is not in your eye, you can still feel it is there. Mm-hmm. So you just find an opportunity to see an eye doctor who can just look inside the eye. Then you're talking of the redness. Redness is something that I would say you should see the doctor, because it varies greatly, the different type of redness. Yeah. Some, I can't give you a tip that when the eye is red this way, then treat home. No. So it's always good to just come to the hospital and then we look at it fast. Some may be very trivial, some may be serious cases, and especially when they are both, then we look at the virus, what we call Apollo. But there is an Apollo similar one, which adenovirus, this is not exactly Apollo, can also cause that, and it can spread very fast in the house. Yeah, so we look at all that, and then we're talking about now makeup and other things. Yeah, makeup, well, it's very interesting. Very rare will you have makeup actually having any effect with your vision. Okay, most of the time you may have rashes that you are reacting to this. But if you see your eye getting red as a result, you stop it immediately, or anything around the skin is changing, you stop immediately, and then you see the doctor. So I wouldn't say don't use makeup just because of
good.
Yeah, so I think it's something that is worth talking about. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
welcome.
Dr. Sinyajo. We're really grateful for all the expertise that you've given to us over this past month, and we hope that it will help those at home to be able to make sure that their eyes are kept in a good way, and not to be afraid that if their eye is hurting them, that it's all of a sudden they're going to go blind or something like that. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being with us on Health Check on GH today. Take good care of your eyes so that they will keep in good health. See you again.